What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on. I watched a few of the Chicago Sky games, right? And although the Chicago Skies, their record is 3-7, I think it's 3-7, right? But I'm seeing some promise there, right? And especially when it comes to Angel Reese, I'm seeing some promise and some progress there. And I think things are kind of like trending in the right direction. So in Angel Reese's last two games, she had 14 points, 11 rebounds, you know, let me see, three steals, and she's shooting like 56%. Right? So her everything is trending up. And not just looking at her stats, but like even watching her like in the offense, like the way they have her moving on the court and the position that they have her in, she's looking she's looking like she's more confident. And which I think is good for Angel Reese for her to show that she can, that she can continue to get better and she can adapt to this new system and to this new coaching staff and overcome the adversity and some of the distractions that's going on as far as like like the media attention that she's getting, right? And so as a basketball fan, I'm hoping for the best. I hope that things continue to trend in this direction for Angel Reese, and because it's good for like fans, like Angel Reese fans who are loyal fans, or Chicago Skies fans who are loyal fans, to be able to ride this wave, these peaks and these valleys with their favorite player, with their favorite team. I just think that's good for the WNBA. I think it's good for the and for the fans. And so when I see, Angel Reese trending the way she's trending, like I said, looking more confident in what she's doing on the court, looks like she has more of an understanding when it comes to what her job is as far as this team. She still has work to do, just like everybody else in the WNBA. She got work to do, but the thing is, like, she's getting better, and she's showing that despite some of the distractions that's gone on, and some of the and with the change in coach and bringing in new players, that she is you know she's going to be somebody who is something to reckon with. I think the next step, though, the next step for her is just like to continue to get used to moving without the ball. I like the way she moves without the ball. She flashes, and she's learning how to take what the defense give her. So that's good, right? And I think what the Chicago Sky really now need to do is to focus on putting like more shooters around her. So as she's learning to distribute the ball and pass the ball out of the low post, when she get rebounds, like if she can't go directly back up, and she can pass the ball out and hit people for open jumpers. When you have somebody like Angel Reese who's grabbing all these rebounds, double figures in rebounds, that means extra scoring opportunities. And so when you have all of so many more scoring opportunities, offensive rebounds, or even she cutting down on scoring opportunities for the other team on the defensive end, that's just big. And that's something that as a coach and as a team, you have to make the other team pay for that. You got to take advantage of those opportunities that Angel Reese is giving you by getting those rebounds. So you got to make them pay. So with that, you put more shooters around her. You know, she should always be on the court with two, with two 3-point shooters at all times, man. Somebody that can just knock that shot down. Um, and the thing about it is I can see that like that chemistry between her and Camila Cardosa is getting better too, right? Because with Camila Cardosa in there, you can't really lean on Kate on I keep saying Kate, you can't really lean on Angel Reese the way you want to because Carmela Cardosa demand attention too. So if you want to get physical with Angel Reese and Camila Cardosa in there, then Camila is going to get the rebound. Camila is going to dominate in that paint. So it's just like having like a twin towers. You know, like when back in the day when the Houston Rockets had Hakeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson, right? They used to punish people because you had to respect those guys. You had two big 7 footers in there. You had to respect both of those guys, and so you had two people in the low post and Camilla and Angel who just who demand so much attention. But not only do they demand so much attention, but they just bring different skills to the to the table, which you have to respect as their opponent. So I like what I'm seeing right now out of like I said, out of Chicago Sky, even though they are, even though they like seven, they only 3-7, but they still have a whole nother half a season to go. They got, you know, they they're trending in the right direction before they get to the All-Star break. And then after the All-Star break, don't be surprised if you see the Chicago Sky go on a winning streak. Don't be surprised. But like I said, I now it's to the point I'm not even really worried about like Angel Reese and her development. She showed that she's got a high motor and she's going to develop, and she's playing to her strengths, right? So that's good. I'm more so concerned with like who else they can put around her, whereas though all her efforts won't go, her efforts won't be in vain. They won't be like for nothing. So that's the question right there. So all of the weight can't fall on her. And because it's like she can't carry the team all on her own, and so that's now right now what Chicago should be focusing on is getting some better shooters around her and developing that chemistry she have with Cardosa and the point guard that they have for the for the Sky. But yeah, she's trending in the right direction. Not and see right here, this saying her last two games, right? But even before her last two games, I would go back even further than that. I think that she's been doing good for her at least the last about 4 games or so. You know, her stats for the last 4 games didn't show it, but I can just see through her movement that she was, like I said, she's getting confident on the court. She's understanding what her role is on the court, and she's playing to her strengths. So when you have somebody like that who's playing to their strengths and they understand their role, then that's a good sign right there. And so yeah, man, I just this WNBA season, man, I think it's shaping up to be a really good season. Yeah, some really good teams in there, some good stories and some storylines, and I think competition is really really getting it's coming along and it's getting a lot better. And so that's my take on Angel Reese. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that being said, also don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Angel Reese. Have you noticed, if you're especially if you're a Chicago Sky fan, like have you noticed like any improvement, like the improvement in her game? Have you noticed like the confidence in her game when it comes to like how she's moving in the court, around the court? And it's just evident now, like I said, that she understands what her role is on the court. And she is to a point now where she's just focusing on playing better, getting better in that offense and playing with more confidence. All they have to do now is to put the right players around her and develop that chemistry. And I think I'm looking forward. I'm going on record as saying that, after the All-Star break, um, the sky's probably going to be they're going to go on a winning streak, and their record is going to reflect the fact that they're going to have some success. I don't think their team is really all that bad as their record reflect anyway. And so don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.